So good morning to all of you. Myself, I'm Saundra Rajan, Assistant Professor from Department of Agriculture Engineering at Sri Shanmuga College of Engineering and Technology, Autonomous. So today I come with a new topic, that is the hydrology, introduction to hydrology. So in this lecture, we're going to see the what is the hydrology and its definition and importance of the hydrology, then water cycle, then the scope and benefits of the hydrology and branches of the hydrology we're going to see in the today's lecture. So that is the concept of today's lecture. So we can jump into the concept. Yes, so hydrology is the nothing but a scientific study of occurrence, distributions, movement, quality, and properties of water on, above, and below the earth's surface. So it examines the movement of water through the hydrological cycle and its interaction with the atmosphere, land, vegetation, and living organisms. So this is the hydrology. What is the hydrology? So I also given the proper definition for the hydrology. So you can see in the slide. So hydrology is the branch of science that deals with occurrence, circulation, distribution, and management of water in the atmosphere. So on the earth surface and underground, as well as underground surface. So the main objectives are the listed here. The objective of the hydrologist is study the movement and distribution of water, assess the surface and groundwater resources, estimate water availability for various purposes, and final objective is the support sustainable water resource management. So you can see the in this picture. Um, I'm going to mark that. So from atmosphere, the precipitation is occurs. That water is added to the uh, soil and in ocean. After that reaches that surface, it makes the some operates movements, that is the called surface flow. If water is gone to that uh, subsurface, that is called infiltration. So that infiltration water add to the groundwater table. Then this groundwater moves to the ocean due to the pressure variation in the uh, horizons of the land. Then in some part of that precipitated water uh, that evaporate through the uh, natural process, and transpiration, through the transpiration also water circulation happen. Then the ocean evaporation happen due to the heat given by the sun. So when we heating the water, that makes the evaporation. So in that concept, the same ocean water is evaporated in presence of the sunlight radiation or heat, we can call it like that. Then so this is the cyclic process of the water in the natural place. So the main importance to study the hydrology is it plays a vital role in planning, development, and management of water resources. So where it applied means it irrigation management, flood forecasting, reservoir design, groundwater management, watershed management, hydropower development, environmental production. So for these actions, we need to understand the concept of the hydrology. So here the irrigation management means determines the crop water requirements and irrigation scheduling purpose. We have to understand the hydrology movement of that area. Then to predict the floods and helps in disaster mitigation. So based on the hydrology cycle in that area, we can make the prediction strategy for the flood and to mitigate the disaster in that area. Then it helps to estimate the storage capacity and water availability based on the water cycle potential in that area. We can make the decision for storage capacity of the reservoir and water availability on that area. Then groundwater management means it assesses the groundwater recharge and sustainable extraction purpose. We need to understand the hydrology concept in that area. So it helps in conserve soil and water resources, as well as then it estimates river discharge and power generation and maintains ecological balance and water quality. These are the environmental protection of part of the hydrology. So the benefits of the hydrology is if we understand the hydrologic cycle in that area very clearly, we can do efficient use of water resource, and we can improve the agriculture productivity, and we can manage the environmental in sustainable way. So these are the importance of the hydrology. Here you can see the reservoir is constructed in that place. That reservoir water is used for the irrigation purpose. So through the water conveyance pipelines, it transfer to up high head area to low head area. So where we are we are made the powerhouse on that area. So the energy of the water potential energy is converted into the kinetic energy. So through that, the power is generated through the generators in the powerhouse, and lower reservoirs also are used for some other purpose like agriculture or a drinking purpose, and it finally will reach the water resource that is in low-lying area. Okay. So next one is the hydrological cycle. It's a nothing but a continuous movement of the water between the atmosphere, land, oceans, driven by the solar energy and gravity. So the major components of the hydrological cycle is the evaporation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, percolation, and runoff. So evaporation means water changes from liquid to vapor due to the solar heat. So when the water is might be in a low-lying area or ocean, called ocean or a river. So due to the heat given by the sun, increases the heat of the water in the surface. So that makes the after the boiling point of the water, it starts to evaporate. That is called evaporation. So that means simply we can say this liquid is changed into the vapor. So transpiration is the release of water vapor from the plants. So plants uh, uses the water from the surface that is transported to the atmosphere to the in the process of transpiration, and is called evapotranspiration. So condensation, water vapor cools and forms the clouds. So when the water in the atmosphere condensed to make the cloud, then precipitation is nothing but rain. We can rain, snow, while sleet falls, all or comes under the precipitation category. So infiltration is nothing but the enter of the water into the soil surface. So you can see the water enters to the soil profile. That is the infiltration. Percolation is nothing but water moves downward through the soil to recharge ground. So so the enter of the water in the different layer called is the percolation. Then runoff is nothing but the excess water flows over the land into the rivers and racks and reservoirs. So if that water holding capacity of the soil exceeds the limit, the water start to flow on the surface. That going to reach the river or lakes and or reservoir. Okay, the scope of the hydrology encompasses the study of water in various forms and supports the planning and management of the water. So, resource for the agriculture, engineering and environmental production purpose. So, this is the main scope of the hydrology. So, there are the various branches involved in the hydrology based on its uh, components. So surface water hydrology and groundwater hydrology, or we can say it's hydrogeology. engineering hydrology, agricultural hydrology, urban hydrology, environmental hydrology. In our surface water hydrology, we're going to study is the surface water is the study of rivers, lakes, reservoirs, and runoff. Then groundwater hydrology is the study of groundwater occurrence and movement. So engineering hydrology means it application of hydrology principle in designing the hydraulic structures like dam and reservoirs and etc. So dam, canal construction and reservoirs construction. For that purpose, we need to understand the hydrology and its hydrological principle apply to the designing the hydraulic structures. Then agriculture is nothing but water management for crop production and irrigation. Then urban hydrology means stormwater drainage and flood management in urban area. Then environmental hydrology means it's interaction of the water with ecosystem and environmental quality. So to measure the hydrology, there are the different measurements that are rainfall, evaporation, infiltration, stream flow, and groundwater level. So these are the parameters to measure the hydrology: rainfall, evaporation, infiltration, stream flow, and groundwater. There are the different formulas derived by the scientists to measure the rainfall, evaporation, infiltration, stream flow, ground level in the hydrological cycle. So, okay, okay, we came to end of the session. So I hope you understood the today's concept, the hydrology and its importance, scope and benefits, and how it happened in that particular area. So that are the concepts we seen in the today classes. I hope you understood the today concepts. Thank you.